Oh, what time we finishing?
About 5:30 something.
5:30.
Why?
Just up until Jenna to be ready for 6 or something, isn't it?
Okay. So she's coming then? Okay. And Harvey, yeah? Obviously. And Grace then?
No, she's not with us, because she's illegally nationwide.
Let's start.
I was running. I'll ring her.
Oh, he's gonna ring him?
Yeah, just to let her know.
If you need to do it, just... I'll start. Right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai wa Harakah Kadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And you know what, man? We're in the last days right now, and the Lord is He's bringing forth His truth into the earth, man. He's awakening His people, you know, as to the truth of who they are. And you know, this ministry is compounding a lot of edification, a lot of knowledge. And one of those things is the understanding of who we are, understanding that we're not so-called Negroes, we're not black people, we're not Hispanics, right? And all these, you know, fucking terms, false names and false terms that have been placed upon us, and some of us take upon themselves, Moors and all this garbage, that we're actually the Israelites, the children of Israel. And then through the scriptures, we can read the scriptures in order to understand that heritage, so that we can understand ourselves, understand our place through that knowledge of who we are. Okay? And it's been growing, man. This understanding of who we are is being put out there in the earth, man. And we see how even the mainstream now, it's starting to penetrate. But here it is, you got these goofy dudes in the black unconsciousness community, right, which serves no purpose than to confuse our people, right, talking against it. They've been trying to fight against the truth, man, and trying to establish that pan-Africanism and Egyptology and all these false ideologies, which ultimately represent death and ignorance and degradation. So you got this guy Shaka, I don't know if you saw the clip, you got this guy Shaka Amos, because the Hebrews to Negroes video thing came out, they feeling kind of left out. They feeling hurt, and he's saying, oh, it's misinformation, which we don't agree with everything that's in that video, right? Because they don't go into the full knowledge of who the Israelites are, because we're not just blacks. This thing ain't about Pan-Africanism or being black. It's not about having melanin, right? There are 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man. All right. However, the point that the so-called Negroes that were on the west coast of Africa, that were brought to the Americas on cargo slave ships, being Israelites, that is true. And he hurt because he wants our people to what? Be Egyptians and Africans, even though our people that are still in West Africa today don't have no affinity to Egypt or anything to do with Egypt. You can't go to a Nigerian and tell man nothing about Egypt. Okay? That you had something? Yeah, go on, get what you got, and then I'm gonna start getting the scriptures cursing out Egypt, because that Egyptology and Pan-Africanism is not the way forward for our people, man, and it never has been.
Yeah, this is from 1 Kings chapter 9 verse 7. It says, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, and I will cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Right? That's why we have no real identity. We have an identity issue among our people, man. We don't really know where we come from for the most part, right? So when we're bringing out the truth of where we come from, that's strange to them, because they've never known anything else other than what they've been told. And there's so many of our people that come out with different things. Oh yeah, you're from Africa, you're from Egypt, or you're this or you're that. You know, and the white man, the so-called white man, giving us labels like black and colored. That doesn't tell you. It's not telling you what you are, what you need to know. You know, it's still cutting you off from your heritage. End of the day, where you actually belong to.
Right. And another point is, just because I hate this term, man. Just because in history a people were melanated, don't make them Israelites. You see, this whole thing about the melanin and being dark, or even being from the same continent, that doesn't make you the same people. In fact, real quick, get did you finish on what you were saying? There,
Yeah.
yeah. Get Deuteronomy. Man, I'm getting a brain freeze right now. 32 and 8. Is it 32 and 8? Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Real quick.
So we go to Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
Right, so the Most High divided them. Who's the Most High? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He created the earth, and then he created man upon it. Right, and when he created man, he divided men. Now, did he divide men according to melanin? No. Men were not divided according to melanin. That's a false breakdown that Esau introduced during the Middle Ages, where he created 3 forms of men. The 3 forms of men that he created was what? Mongoloid, white, and what's it called? Negroid.
Yeah, it's Caucasoid.
Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid. And that's what he did. He divided men into those patterns. Those patterns never existed before.
White, black, and yellow. Essentially.
Now, do different peoples have certain characteristics that might be prevalent among them? Yes. Like, even on a small level, like my grandparents can look at a guy and tell if he's from St. Lucia. You know what I'm saying? Because naturally, you know, when people are close knit together, certain characteristics might be prominent among them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that is a complete indicator of who you are. Because you could look like you're from one thing and be from another. The ultimate thing is going back to your seed line, and that's how the Lord divided men and separated men. Not according to melanin. Because guess what? The Egyptians were a people of color, but so were the Israelites, but we were not the same. But Esau's got our people obsessed with melanin. When the Bible is not really upset, it's a point. We could bring it out. Obviously, we could bring out because it's an observation. But the end all and be all of knowledge isn't melanin, and that's what our people have done. They've taken this idea of having melanin and running with it like it's that's what life is all about. Like if you have melanin, you could fly through the sky. Or something. Kundalini and whatever.
Like you say.
Yeah.
This is from Exodus chapter 11 verse 7. It says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Right, now the Egyptians and the Israelites looked similar. Because why? Moses even passed for an Egyptian. Why? Because the sons of Ham were people of color, but so were the sons of Shem. So were the sons of Japheth. They were all peoples of color.
And these biblical scholars know that, you know, because in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary it tells you, man, that, you know, the children of Ham are not the same as the Negroes, you know, but they're both dark in complexion.
But even to this day, let me show you something, right? Among the Hamites, you got Hamites with straight hair. You got dark-skinned Hamites with straight hair like a Native American Indian. Like I've met like Ethiopian women that are dark as you like here with straight hair, and they're not straightening it, that's just their hair. Some of them have then got curly hair. Some of them have got afros. You can, among Japheth, you got Japhites that got straight hair. But you got Japhites like the Aboriginals of Australia. Some of them have got afros. So there's different characteristics amongst the children of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, man.
Because everything came from that sort of one gene pool from Noah.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that divided that into the 3, you know, his 3 sons and the tribes that came out of them, man. So we all come from that sort of genetic pool where the variations can occur.
Of course.
You know?
So then that's why we got to start dealing with the knowledge and what was written and what was recorded. Now we trust in what was written by our forefathers, the Israelites. Okay?
Just one more.
Yeah.
Genesis 25.
Oh, sorry. And he said he put a difference between the Egyptian and the Israelite. But what was the difference? The Egyptians were, as we're going to read, we're going to get it in Genesis in a minute. We're going to show you the Egyptians were of Ham through Mizraim, and the Israelites were of Abraham through Eber and Shem. We were a whole different seed of people, and the Lord chose that seed of people, and he didn't choose the Egyptians.
He established us to be above the nations. That's why he gave us laws, statutes, commandments. He didn't decide to give anybody else.
And that's a good point that we're also going to go into. The law, statutes, and commandments, because we're going to get into it, but these Egyptologists don't have a way of life. You know, they don't have a way of life. They don't have law, statutes, and judgments. All they got is Egyptian freakism and witchcraft. That's it. That's all they have. And we're going to prove it. Growing up.
Yeah, this is from Genesis 25 and 23. This is dealing with Esau and Esau and Jacob, right? Right? The Lord specifically told them there were going to be two nations. The Lord is going to separate these two, and they're going to become their own tribes, their own people, right? So Genesis 25 verse 23 says, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. But how could it be? They're brothers from the same man. You know, why are they two separate? Because the Lord made a separation, just like the Lord made a separation with everybody else. We're not the same. All right.
The word nation comes from the word natal, meaning that which you are born.
So two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, two different types of people, right? And the one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay, we know the younger being Jacob, right? And then the elder was Esau, who was always was destined to serve Jacob.
That's why the scripture says, I've seen princes, I have seen servants on horses, and princes walking in the earth. Because right now, Esau Edom is running things, and he's got Jake running around like slaves for the dollars, for the paper. Like LeBron James. And you know what I found out about my man Jordan, yeah? Because everybody want to be like Mike, right? Mike got all that programming, all that, they set him up like a god, because he could dunk a basketball in that, right? In the net, yeah? You know, and he got the Nike deal with the Jordans that these niggas shoot and kill each other. Even though Jordans are probably one of the most uncomfortable. I got a pair of Jordans. Hey, my woman's putting it up on eBay today because I can't wear them. Them motherfuckers are uncomfortable. Yeah, Jordans are bad for your feet, man. It's horrible trainers. It's a sacrifice to wear them things, man. It's ungodly. No, I'm joking. Everybody can wear Jordans if you want to wear them. You know, we're in this world, certain things you're just gonna do. But them Jordans are horrible trainers, man, and they be charging. They be in the sweatshop. They got heathens. Esau's got heathens in China and these different places, paying them rice, not even paying them money. They might get 10 grains of rice per hour to make these damn trainers, right? So it costs them maybe $2 to make the trainer, maybe another $10 in promotion, and then they sell it to you Negroes for $200, $150. Got you thinking it's something to collect. You got a man's collecting them, collecting trainers, like it's a king's treasure. Oh, look at this, man. It's Nike, you know. And I bought this in 1965. What the hell, man? Paying trainers, bro. Uncomfortable like that. Yes, basketball trainers, right? And I found out that Jordan was only making 5% off the revenue. 5%. So really, imagine if you're giving a man a 5% and you're getting 95%. That's worse than what is that? That is mad slavery right there. You probably get more percent being a slave in the field picking cotton. 5%. But they put this guy out there like that's making it. That's being successful, getting 5%. Meanwhile, the JOO, they're laughing. They're running with that 95%, and then they're controlling all these guys. These guys are controlled by Esau Edom. They work for Esau. LeBron James, all these guys, they all work for Esau.
Yeah, house niggas, man.
Yeah, Jay-Z, all these guys, they work for Esau. Esau is the one that's cutting the check, and Esau tells them what to do and what not to do. And we're seeing that, right? They would say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Esau's the hand that feeds them. Them man talk, they got to hold their tongue because they know what side of the bread, you know, they're getting buttered on. You know what I'm saying?
They got to stay in line.
Right? So we are servants to Esau, man. Simple as that. And if them dudes that's supposed to be the top guys that's running things among our people and everyone looks up to, if they got to hold their tongue for Esau, then who are we then? Yeah? Yeah. I'm 5%, bro. Like, what? I thought he was getting nothing more than that. That's a violation. Hey, 5%.
So Isaiah 28 verse 15 says, because ye have said we have made a covenant with death. They got an agreement with Esau, man. The 5% agreement. Right?
So what are these other guys getting then? Yeah. If Jordan's getting 5%, he was the biggest, most successful, then what are these other guys getting? Maybe 1%? Well, percent and a half.
What was it when DMX, you know, released that Def Jam game?
Oh yeah,
he was the poster boy on that. Yeah, he was getting shit off that, man. He wasn't getting nothing off that, man. The man was vexed. But you see, it's because we're in a position of being exploited, right? That 1% or that 0.1% is a lot to Jake because he's poor, he broke, and everything is a win. That's even if it's little, it's a win for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even though they know they're getting exploited, and these guys are making all the cake, right? To them, they're still winning because they're not in the ghetto anymore.
Laughing.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
That's a pimp.
That's why we got the fucking the whole ghetto rich, hood rich shit. Bro, you're not rich.
There's
You're just richer than.
bro. There's prostitutes earning more than 5%.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pimping on a different level, man.
You know.
And then he's taxing them. The same man are taxing you on top of that 5%, taking half.
That's hurtful.
and then following it through FTX. Hey, good. There's a man thing.
So because ye have said we have made a covenant with death, and with hell we are in agreement, Esau the devil, right? If the overthrown skull shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. You think you're going to be alright just because you are under Esau's wing right now? But Esau ready to sacrifice all of you, man. He's good and ready to sacrifice all of you. Right?
It's that takeover.
Yeah. So it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, man. And under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Right?
Yeah, they got Esau's mechanisms behind them, man. Esau propping them up, and that's all it is. All these guys are propped up by Esau's media. They got an engine behind them that serves them. You know what I'm saying? And uses them because they're Esau's products. So you're gonna use it. I got Jeremiah 30:8 says, "For it shall come to pass, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck." That's what's getting ready to happen. "And will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him." Because these nations, beginning with Esau, they utilize Jake for their benefit, for their profit, 95% profit.
Yeah.
And Jake is getting the little thing. You know? You see these guys getting these shoe deals and these Nike deals, and they ain't really getting nothing, man. But anyway, yeah, let's carry on. We're breaking down this Egypt thing.
Yeah, because I was saying, man, because the only reason why these companies are even making as much money as they are because Jake promoting the shit.
They're like Ben Johnson. Didn't Ben Johnson? What's his name? Ben Johnson, innit? The runner. He's the one that made was it Fila?
What was it?
The Canadian. He's a Canadian runner.
Yeah.
And I'm sure then he sponsored Fila took him, and then Fila became big off that. Yeah, it's how it is. They use Jake, innit?
Because they got the market, they got the facilities, they got the money, the capital to do all this shit. Jake ain't got shit. Jake just got his ability, his talent,
His sweat.
you know,
His
his
sweat now.
blood, his soul.
And then Jake is the one that ends up with all the permanent physical damage and all the trauma, and then Esau's chilling in the villa. They don't get the trauma. They don't have, you know. They don't get exposed. You know. Go on up.
That was it.
Yeah. Come this way. I'm sure. Oh, is it me?
Yeah,
no, I read that.
Okay, can you get something?
It's the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Right, and that's a curse that's on our people. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American Indians. Wherever we are in the world, other nations can come in and they catapult above. That's one of the things they say about the so-called Negro in America, is it not? Oh, you guys have been here since the very beginning, and everyone else has come to America and done better than you. Hey, that's because they're under the curses. That's because it's not for a lack of trying or lack of work or lack of wanting. We know all the different times that Esau has worked against Jake to keep them down, but that's the curses. That's the manifestation of the curse. Now, Egyptology can't explain that, but we can explain it through the scriptures. Go on.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be a tail.
You can only lend if you're in a position of strength, economic strength. That's when you can lend. And he will be the head, and we will be the tail. You know what happens with a dog, right? The dog wags the tail. The tail don't wag the dog. So Jake is getting wagged in this kingdom, man. You know? Meanwhile, they get to show off. They're like nothing but a tail getting wagged, but at least they get to show off to other Jake and walk around with diamond chains on and act like they're the boss. I'm a boss. You ain't no fucking boss, bro, because you ain't making no laws and no statutes in this kingdom, and you never will. You can't lobby to have no law being passed in your favor. not one law. And it never will. Not in this kingdom. Esau can do that. Esau will change the law and manifest the law to suit himself. Yeah? You can't do that. You ain't really got no power. You're not a boss. Esau passed one law and cut your whole business in half.
Shut you down.
Right? You still got, do you want me 32 and 8? Or is that it and that?
I got it.
You got more?
What did you just read?
28.
Okay.
You said you want me 28. Are you finished on that?
Yeah.
You get, yeah, go back to the okay, go on.
This one. This is about Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
Yeah.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
Right, so the Lord separated the sons of Adam. Right, now people want to dispute that and oh yeah, you're half your mother, and no, listen, it is how the Most High made it to be. That's what science and knowledge is. Knowledge is what actually is. Why it is that way is simply down to the Most High created it that way.
That's how he wants it.
Yeah, why is hot hot and cold cold? I can't tell you that. I could just only tell you, listen, that is hot and that is cold. When it all comes down to it, it's the way it is because the Lord created it to be that way. So how are we divided among the people? By the lineage of sons through the seed. That's just how it is. That's how the Most High created it. And he divided the sons of Adam. So even though we all come from Adam, we come from that same root, the Lord divided us into different peoples.
Gave us diverse ways.
And gave us diverse ways, man. So we're not all the same. We're different. But
Yeah,
how?
hey,
You know?
The Lord confused all the languages, right? He gave us different languages. He gave us different, let's say different ways to live.
Different
man.
spirits.
But the truth wasn't given until, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, until that truth was given to them, and so we know who the real power is in the earth, man. And that made us different from everybody else. That made us special, because we knew what the truth was. But I have something here quickly from Numbers 1 and verse 2. It says, "Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers." The mothers is not a thing that needs to be equated into it. That's not necessary.
That's just how it is, man.
You
Otherwise it becomes confusion. Because you can't divide the people if you take into if you're half father and half mother, basically no one is anything.
No.
Then that's how you end up with these goofy genealogies where you're 1%, there's 2%, that 3%. So how do you get an inheritance?
You're nobody. You're one individual of your people, and you can never replicate that again.
You can never be anything because if you're always getting halved and halved and halved, then goddamn, you're always gonna be, now you're a half of a half and a half. It's madness, confusion, and the Lord is not the author of confusion.
Yeah, you can't trace no lineage like that.
That's why Dinah didn't become a tribe. Yeah,
And that's why all the nations are named after men.
you got these goofy Israelites out there talking about, oh, your mother matters. What about Dinah then? Why is there not a tribe of Dinah? How come? Oh, you can't answer that one, right? That's because women do not form a seed. Women are part of a seed. They're of a seed. They do not create seed. Seed is a sperm.
And none of the tribes of Israel had Israelite women. Right?
Yeah, that's another thing.
So how can you have a nation of Israel if you're saying, you need she has to be an Israelite woman or the both
Yeah,
the same?
Jacob's
to be an
wives
Israelite?
weren't Israelite because Jacob was the first Israelite. By definition.
Yeah.
Work that one out. But these guys don't want to bow to the knowledge and wisdom of the Heavenly Father, man.
Yep.
They want to have their own way. And that's why we're in this problem that we're in. Because people want to have their own way. They want to create their own knowledge. Nah, stick to what the Lord did.
To take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers with the numbers of their names, every male by their polls.
That's right.
Yeah.
This will go, Number 27:1. The daughter of Zelophehad, son of Arthur, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughter were Molah, Noah, Ogra, Mikra, and Judah. They came forward and stood before Moses, Eleazar, the priest, the leaders, and all assembly of the herd, at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, Our father died, in the wilderness, he was not among followers. We banded together against the Lord, but he died for his own sin and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan because he had no son?
Right, because your name is carried on through your sons, because your daughters, the children that your daughters have are going to bear the name of their father, man. That's just how it is. You could sit here and cry about it, but that's just how it is. That's, you know, we could cry about a lot of things. You know, why is the sky blue? We could sit here and cry all day, but the sky is blue. You just got to deal with reality, man.
Yeah, they say the men carry on that lineage, man. Right? If a woman gives birth or has a child with a heathen, she bears the seed of a heathen.
And that's what a mamzer is.
Right? So that's you know, that is not an Israelite. They can't inherit shit. You know? But like I said here, for the males is that seed carried on. So no matter who that man lays down with, he's gonna always produce his seed. Because it's his seed, right? So she's always, that woman or any woman is always gonna produce that man's seed. And that's how nations are continued, man.
That's why the nations still exist. That's how nations are formed. Because like I said, once you have a couple sons, what, they sleeping with their sisters? They're going to be dealing with more. So then, by these, see what I'm saying? By these guys' reasoning, there is no nations.
And the same thing applies to like royalty, because obviously this is about the king, right? That's how that royal line continues.
Well, no, this one wasn't about the king.
Oh, wasn't it?
This was just a...
I thought you mentioned the king.
No, this is just...
Okay.
One of the Menessites, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, just like that. You know, but that's how those royal lines stay on anyway, because you know you have to produce that. A man has to have a son. A king has to have a son, man. If he's not, it's peak.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why even the royal family, they've committed blasphemy, because they've now made it where it used to be that obviously, if you say like you had a daughter and then you had a son, the son would be the heir before the daughter.
Yeah.
Now they changed it a couple years ago where it doesn't matter now. So if your firstborn is a daughter, she's first in line to be, you know, Queen of England, even though she has a little brother. Which, you know, that's just them pushing. That's Esau Edom trying to recreate creation according to what he wants. You know, and that's really what his rebellion is all about. He wants to basically recreate the laws of the universe according to him, but it don't work.
Hey, but this is why, you know, the royal family in Britain, it kind of fell apart because, and now Esau got in because we had queens. So she had to marry herself off to somebody else, man, and bear that man's child. And that's how Esau get in and got power. And now the Saxon go for the name is. That's how they got in. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get in. If it was a man on the throne, no, they wouldn't have got in like that.
Hey, that's why men didn't want their women getting. They, you know, you're supposed to want your own, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't really want to have to give away your daughters outside of your tribe or your, you know. And there's a lot of people still like that. You know, they're like, nah. Only people that really, you know, don't have no problem with their daughters getting split wide open by every other nation of people is Jake. Except when it's you know, maybe, you know, them Latinos might have a problem if it's but Jake, you know, the white man, Indian man, China man, any man come in, everyone's happy and dancing and doing backflips. But let them other nations, they don't really like the idea of, they don't like it. Real talk, like they know, like if you get with a Moabite woman, go back to China with her. I'm not talking about being here. Go back to China with her and go meet her family over there. But see, they're gonna be like, oh, what's
like Cristiano, disgusted. I was disgusted.
I was embarrassed and disgusted. It's just true. You go Arab land, they might kill you. What the fuck you doing with this fucking, you know? Even if you claim to be a Muslim, Nation of Islam or whatever, going on. And that's how we're supposed to be, man. You're supposed to, you know, have your daughter running around with no heathen. Now you got grandchildren trying to claim, you're trying to, little heathens, man. Forget that, bro. Israelites only, man.
Hey, what was it, man? When Dinah was raped, right? Simeon and Levi, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't like that.
They got vexed, man, and you know they went a bit crazy, but hey, they didn't want that, man. They didn't like that one bit.
It's not the ideal,
you know. Yeah, it's not what you wanted, man.
It's not what you like to see. Now they'll paint you as being a bad person because Esau basically makes it where you have to accept whatever your kids do. But then look at Jacob, Isaac. Isaac told Jacob and Esau, yo, don't be dealing with certain type of women. And that's in the Bible. Now, nowadays, they'll call Isaac and Rebecca bigots. oh, you're a bigot. If they made a movie now, Isaac and Rebecca would be the villains because they're trying to control their children, and they were sons. They were like, listen, you're my sons. I'm telling you, these women over here, you don't marry them.
Yeah, go get something from our people.
Go get something from our people, man. And that's how it was. Your parents had a lot of authority over your behavior and what you would do. Now in this society, they try and promote that the parent has no right to tell the children. You mean I was watching one program and the son, so-called black man, had a transgender fucking girlfriend.
Oh, I think I saw a clip of that. I think. Yeah.
And the mother, rightfully so, weren't having none of it. And guess what? The program paints the mother
the villain.
like the villain. But what? So you'd be happy? No, that's off.
She ain't getting no grandchildren now. You know, not proper ones.
It's off, man. I know. I couldn't be doing that stuff. Listen, you really think?
It's a shame. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. A blot on the family, man.
But they're trying to program people to accept anything, man. Have no standards.
Yeah.
So that they can then program the children to do any madness, and then as a parent, you just have to accept it and go along with it. Oh, daddy, your son comes on. Oh, daddy, I like to suck dick. Oh,
so,
I accept. You know,
you're behind the time. You used to get with it.
Oh, fuck
all this shit.
Man. Ain't sucking no dick out. Anyway, go on. Not my son.
That's my son.
Because want to say, give us property among our father's relatives. So Moses,
on the relatives, yeah.
So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to him, what Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives.
So it could be that a woman could inherit from her father, but she would inherit in the case of there was no sons. All right, go on.
And give their father's inheritance to them. Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, give his inheritance to his daughter.
So they would become owners of the land of their father. But guess what? Let's read on. And then, like I said, let me say this real quick. That's why the laws is beautiful. That's why we have laws. Now, can the Egyptologists pull it out off the pages like this? No, they can't. Yeah, they ain't got no laws, man. They just out here chatting shit on the internet, talking about Hotep. They ain't got not one law. They can't bring no document from Egypt and say, yeah, this is the law. They ain't got it. About scholars. Fuck out of here. That man got his rocks. Whatever Esau left for them to find. Go on.
If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brother. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers.
Right. No. So it's got to go to a close kinman, to keep it within the family.
Yep.
Go on.
If his father had no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, that he may possess it. This is to have the force of law for the Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Right, and that so then it stays within the family or the clan or the tribe. So like,
I was gonna say something, man, because that's what these elites do.
Yeah.
Right? They keep everything inside the family. That's why they always got control, always got power. You know, their strength is firm. That's what you're saying, right? It's always there. It's not. They ain't giving it off to some fucking random dude. You know, he gonna run things now. Yeah, I'll just spend the last 200, 300, 400 years building this empire. You know, my daddy's daddy, and I'm gonna give it to this dude here. No, they ain't doing that, man.
Yeah, even if you think that they're not related, they are. Like even Prince William and Kate. Yeah, they're all related, man. They're all part of the same clique, innit? But that's all right. They're gonna be related.
But that's what I'm saying. Jake ain't got a problem giving away this shit, though. You know what I'm saying? They're happy to.
Jake ain't got no power, man. Jake, even these Jakes that's got money, they ain't got no power or say about who their daughter gets with or who their son gets with. That's why their families are all out of order, messed up. Because everyone's just freelancing, freestyling and wilding and doing whatever they want to do. No order. You know? Man's want to do, do stupid jobs. But I want to follow my dreams. Now fuck your dreams, man. Your dreams are stupid. Get this damn car. We do carpentry around here. That's what we do.
Got responsibilities, right?
Yeah? Talking about, I want to follow my dreams. Dude want to be do a juggler or something. Yeah, that's why you have it in the ancient world. You'll have whole families that specialize in a particular craft. It was in the family. No, I want to follow my dreams.
And them great artisans, man.
Anyway, go on now.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right, so all people have an actual land that the Lord through his mighty power has bestowed upon them. That is their land that rightfully is there. So the Heavenly Father is gracious. He provided a place for all his creatures. And men are ultimately stewards over the land, and it given every man a stewardship. Every different people has a stewardship in the earth, have a border that is their border that the Lord has given unto them. Now, what's the reason for all this bloodshed in the earth? Because covetousness. When you look at the reasoning behind most wars, is usually because one man wants to infringe on another man's inheritance unlawfully. They want to remove the border. Oh, yeah, we're going to take that land, and that land's going to become our land. That's why there ain't going to be no war in the kingdom of heaven, because every nation is going to have their borders, and it's going to stay that way. There's not going to be no war for borders. Nah, it's going to be made clear, because ultimately we're going to be stewards as the sons of the Lord on the earth over everything, to make sure that everyone stays in their position, in their place. That's what the Lord have provided for you, and that's how it's going to stay. You ain't going to be fighting over territory like a bunch of wild animals, like lions, you know, wild beasts in the earth. Yeah, the Lord has provided. Going up.
For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the Lord of his inheritance.
So the Lord gave a special place for his people, the Israelites, which was formerly known as the land of Canaan, the Holy Land. And that's our portion in the earth, man, the portion of the Israelites. And it's really situated in the middle of the earth, in the center position, where it's connected to Africa, to what they call Africa, what they call Europe, what they call Asia. Right? Now the Egyptians, they were a different set of people to us. Can we get the Genesis, the 10th chapter, and the breakdown of Mizraim? The Egyptians were the people that were known as Mizraim, of the sons of Ham. Now the Egyptians didn't consider them, the Hamites are not one people. Just like the Shemites are not one people. Just like the Japhites. Now we normally just group the Japhites together because nobody cares. Right? Man just say, yeah, Japheth. But really they're not one people. This idea that everyone's the same, or you group in all Africa, like most people that say like these Pan-Africanists in America, oh, we're all African. You go to Africa, they don't think like that. The Somali man, them don't consider themselves to be African or black. They are Somali people. If you talk, like, I know them people. Them people par with their own, and they consider themselves to be different. They don't know we are the world and we're all Africa business. That's something that you Pan-Africanists believe. If you go to Africa, they believe in their tribes and their tribal heritage.
Yeah, you go there, see what happens.
You go there and start talking about we all Africa, you might find yourself on the dinner menu. Come on, and ain't nobody trying to hear all that talk. Really, you are of your tribe. So Mizraim is Mizraim, Cush is Cush. Yeah, they're all different nations that are separate from each other. Just like Moab is separate to Ammon, even though they're brothers, they're two different nations. Jacob and Esau, separate, not the same. Yeah?
This is the book of Genesis 10, from 5. By this were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
Right, now when you go into the history, the Canaanites inhabited what's known as the land of Canaan. Mizraim inhabited what's known as Egypt, on down. You had upper, lower Egypt, different tribes of Mizraim too. They didn't all come together until Pharaoh brought them together, and that's recorded in the scriptures, and that's also recorded in secular history. That they all were Upper and Lower Egypt, and then until a pharaoh came and brought them all together as one. They operated as tribes, right? You had Put, which was to the north, right? And then you got Cush, which is down into the land of Ethiopia. Those are Cushites. Cushites didn't consider themselves Egyptians, and Egyptians didn't consider themselves Cushites. Different lineage, different nation. Yeah, different inheritance. Go on.
And the son of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
Now jump down to Mizraim. Yeah, jump down to Mizraim, because that's where you get these Egyptians, man.
This is Genesis 10 and 13. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Ananim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathruthim, and Kathluhim, out of whom came Philistim.
So you had all these different tribes of Mizraim, or what they call Egypt or Egyptians, and they inhabited different regions of that landmass that today might be considered to be Egypt and Sudan. Now you got Egypt and Sudan. That was all Egypt, right? And those tribes lived on those lands, and they did build a kingdom, and they were people of color, and they were tall, right? Now it said of Philistine, because the Philistines weren't Canaanites. When we went into the land, right, and we were coming up against the Canaanites, right? Among the Canaanites you had what? The Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hor, all these different, they were all tribes of Canaan, but you had the Philistines. The Philistines weren't Canaanites. The Philistines were actually Mizraim that was living in the land of Canaan. And it's nomen omen, because the word Philistine means sojourner or foreigner, because they weren't living in the land of Egypt. They were living in the land of Canaan. And they were some of our biggest enemies, man, the Philistines, and they were so-called Egyptians. But here it is, you got this boneheaded Negroes trying to hold on to Egypt like Egypt was something great to hold on to. Egypt, their has-beens, they had their time and they're never coming back, man. The actual people of Mizraim, their time ended after Israel left Egypt. And they really were never a power in the earth again. They became notable and powerful through Esau when you go into the time of the Maccabees, which we're going to get that.
It's Greek run. You know?
Right? After the Lord left, Egypt was done. And when we was in Egypt, right, what did the Lord do? What's one of the first things the Lord told us? Because one of the things these Egyptologists like to say is the Bible was plagiarized from Egypt, even though there's no source for that. They'll say, oh well, you got the story of the flood. They got the story of the flood from Egypt. Well, if you understand the story of the flood, you would understand that everyone had a heritage of coming from that. So everybody would know that story. You know what I mean? It's like all of us going to a concert, and then I go and post about it, the next man posts about it, and he was at the concert too, and go, oh, you plagiarized. How can you plagiarize something an event everybody knows about, you morons?
Everybody was there.
But what is significant about the Bible that we read? Get me Leviticus the 18th chapter, please, Baba Kachar. About we plagiarized the Egyptians were goofy. They were nothing but a bunch of heathens, witches and warlocks, right? And the Lord crushed them. And forevermore they will reside in the British Museum. That's it.
Forever.
Mummified. He mummified Egypt, man. Even to this day, Mizraim ain't really in their own land. Well, that Ishmael is running them.
So now you got a bunch of Arabs in it now.
Ishmael's running them, man.
It's been taken over, man. I say it went from the original, right? The originals, and then the Greeks got control of it, and now you got Arabs running it.
Well, the most famous Egyptian pharaohs are all Edomites, which we're gonna get into it. Go on, Art.
This is the book of Leviticus.
You got a pocket phone.
18 from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
you went on the phone.
Either way, get a Maccabees in it. Ptolemy and them dons there. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel,
the sons of Israel. Go on.
And say unto them, I am the Lord your power.
Right, he's the God of the Israelites. He was not the God of Egypt. Egypt had their own idols that they worshipped. Various idols, actually. And the thing is, when you go into Egyptology, the problem with Egyptology is that if you actually study Egyptology, you will understand that in different, say for instance, when you go, okay, let me explain it this way. The gods and their particular mythology and their place within Egyptian society changed based upon the city you were in and the time period. It's pure confusion. You might go into one city and they hold Ma'at or something as being the chief god. Then you might go into another city and it's another thing. Or in one period, this would be the mythology for Ma'at, and you go into another period, this is the it's all different. Go and do your research and your history. These guys always talk about being a scholar. It changes. Now, when you go into the Bible, the Most High don't change. His position don't change. His law don't change. His history doesn't change. But in Egypt, it's all over the place. Depending on what city and what time period, you're gonna get a different story, and this God is this and this God is that. This is the truth. But either way, the Lord showed that all the idols of Egypt are of no worth when he destroyed Egypt with the 10 plagues, and not one of them idols could stand against him. Through. But now these guys are coming in 2022 and they want you to follow the ways of Egypt and the Book of the Dead. Some fragmented history that they don't even truly understand. And then they want to follow Egyptology, but it's like, okay, where's the Apis bull? Because let's get into Egyptology now. When you start going deep into Egyptology, it's a bunch of freaky, demonic acts that these people have to commit, like having sex with alligators. I would like to see Shaka Amos come on YouTube and declare, like, next week I'm gonna do a live stream and I'm gonna have sex with an alligator. Since you want to be into no, seriously, since you want to be into Egyptology, do the things that are of Egypt. Grotesque and unclean acts. Take your wife to the temple and have her be a prostitute, so that the next man them can dig her out. That's what you want to do, right? What about the Apis bull? Where is it? Go into the flock, pick out a bull and start worshipping the bull and getting divination from the bull's droppings. Go look it up, the Apis bull. Nah, them man are just going to be there chatting a bunch of big words. Go do it. Since you want to be into Egyptology, since you want to be on your Aleister Crowley business. Bullshit, man. Go on up. Literally. It's bullshit. Apis bull. And we could go in for days on all the freakiness of Egypt. The ISIS sex cults and all the homosexuality, and you know, because that's where, you know.
But that's why the Lord told us not to do the ways of the Egyptians.
That's exactly what we're reading now.
You know, but that's why it's because there was on some madness, man. And like I mentioned earlier, when the Lord divided the nation, he gave everyone diverse ways, man. They left them to do what they're doing, man. But Israel was his firstborn, as you know, right? And he gave the knowledge of himself, the truth, the laws, such commandments unto us to make us separate from everybody else, man.
Yeah, magicians were just heathens, man. They were just heathens. Simple as that. Get all fucking, the pyramids. Whatever, man.
Dust to the balance, man.
Still fucking heathens, man. Just like Esau. Esau, the skyscrapers, but they're smelling farts, man. Fuck it, blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. He's just a heathen. They're buying farts, bro, and building skyscrapers. Oh, you know what I mean? Go on, dog. I mean, come on, man.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
Now stop there. How can you plagiarize a culture and a people by saying not to do what they're gonna do? Think about that. Let's think about the logic of what we're reading here. Oh, you guys, you plagiarized, the Bible plagiarized Egypt. Okay, so we plagiarized Egypt by saying to do exactly what they don't do what they are doing in Egypt. Whatever they're doing in Egypt, don't do that. How is that plagiarism, my man? Someone explain it to me. Shaka a-hole, or well, Natural Tahuti's in jail because he was selling crack or whatever. Polite, you know, well, he's too busy in Hollywood scamming people, so I don't think he's available. Who can answer these questions? Sarah Suit and Seti, where he at, man?
It's been a while.
Jokers, man.
But, you know, it just shows, man, these guys not really on shit anyway, man. You know, they want to seem like high intellectuals, man. You know,
they're just the cultists, man. And they were set up to draw our people into the way of the occult through the root of Pan-Africanism. That's all it is. Back into the ways of witchcraft and all the things that the Lord told us not to deal with. He told us, don't follow the ways of the Canaanites. Don't follow the ways of the Egyptians. And these dudes want you to go back into that way, which is filthiness. When you break it down, it's nothing but, what does Scripture describe it as again?
say again.
In Wisdom of Solomon 12, it describes it as flipping out. Odious works of witchcraft, man. Like having sex with an alligator. Yeah, that's in Wisdom of Solomon 12.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Child sacrifice.
Go if you want it.
Yeah, go on now.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12, verse 4.
And then what you find out is the gods of all these other nations were basically imitations of each other. So the gods of Canaan, you can find an imitation of that god in Egypt. Just like the Greek and the Roman gods, all these idols are basically imitations of other idols. The moon goddess, and the sun god.
Yeah, they've all got a moon goddess, all got a sun goddess, it's all the same shit.
It's all the same shit. Yeah? There ain't nothing special. There's nothing special about Egypt, and it's well known that Egypt was heavily influenced from where? From Babylon, from Sumeria, from Chaldea, from Akkad. The what they call which is the what's they called something of civilization. Man, my brain
Cradle.
is the cradle of civilization, because that's
cities.
where the original civilizations, according to the Bible even, were set up in the area of Iraq, the Fertile Crescent. Those civilizations were earlier than Egypt developing, because they had to move over into Egypt.
Because remember, they were all together
In one place.
at one point, right? Until the Lord scattered them. So
Exactly.
they've all took something. They all took something away with them, you know? And then set up their own idols, their own gods.
Give them their own
based
names.
on what they're dealing with in the first place.
And that's why they were happy when they went to a different land to just worship the idols of that land.
The local, yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize. We were the only people that didn't do that. They had their gods were assigned to a certain geography. That's why I said, if you go to a particular city in Egypt, one god would be the head of that city. And you might go to another city in Egypt and it's another god is described as the head. Same thing with Greece. What? Diana of Ephesus. And then another city will say, oh, Zeus. So then when you went to this city, you worship Zeus. And when you went to this city, you sacrificed to Diana.
Was it the god of the hills?
The god of the hills, the god of the valleys. Whereas we had one god.
God, and it is in all things, everywhere.
Yeah, Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Khad, man.
Yeah, one power, man.
That's it, man. Go on up.
Yeah, I had this from Wisdom of Solomon 12 verse 3. It says, for it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, the Canaanites. Right?
No, yeah, we went to war against the Canaanites on some real shit, man.
Yep.
And the Lord wanted that. He wanted us to put in work on them Canaanites, and we did.
Because only was the curse that fell upon Ham
Onto Canaan.
onto Cain, his grandson, well, Noah's grandson.
And we put work
Yep.
in on them guys, man, chopping people up for real. And the Lord was with that.
Yeah.
And the Lord's gonna be with. Well, let me
Rephrase this.
let me say it the correct way, because you know what's gonna happen is man like vocab are gonna make it look like we're crazy. Let me say this, like the Lord through his spirit, when his son returns, right? When his son returns, he's gonna use his people to put in work again. Yeah?
No, my weapon, I'm back next to the war, man. Yeah,
And the
my
Lord is
weapon's
with
back,
that. The Lord is going to be with that, man.
Yeah. Verse 4 says, for whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft.
They were doing all that odious work of witchcraft, because when you go into the occult sciences and you go into witchcraft, basically it operates on the opposite vibration of the right hand side. So where all of our rituals, because you could call it that, all of our rites and rituals entail cleanliness. Like for instance, you to make yourself clean, you wouldn't have sex. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't have sex. You wouldn't have sex with a woman on her reds. Now, what are they making popular now? They're making popular the idea of man eating out his woman when she's on reds, and man doing his woman when he's on reds. Don't you know that's always been a menstrual blood has always been a vital ingredient in witchcraft? And the man them from the islands know how many women would go to the Obia man or whoever, and they'll be like, yeah, mix up this and put the menstrual blood in the food, and next thing you know, man, love the woman like no tomorrow. The love potion. But that's filthiness, right?
Yep.
That's uncleanliness. According to our rights, and we're not supposed to be unclean. But when you go into the realms of heathenism and witchcraft, it's all about being unclean. So you're eating unclean animals. You're sacrificing unclean animals. Everything is to do with sex and bodily fluids. So orgies, and the priestesses are having sex, temple whores. Then you got homosexuality involved, incest involved, or put all the things which are unclean and unrighteous. You have to perform in these rites. Now, how do we know that? Let's deal with it then. Your main man, Aleister Crowley, the #1 Egyptologist ever, right? He went to Egypt. He actually had dealings with what Seth, or one of them fuckers, and them man chose him to be his prophet. And what did he say? He said, listen, to achieve the highest levels of witchcraft, you need to perform the most disgusting and unclean acts you can think of. That includes eating feces, eating shit. That's part of the rites and rituals when you eat, whether it's animal feces. And he had his woman, I think he had his woman have sex with a goat, and then she shot on an altar, and then he ate it. He was doing so much uncleanliness that, let's talk about Aleister Crowley for a second. He was so unclean, his woman left him. She couldn't handle it. It was getting too much. When he had a group of followers, they went to live together in the woods here in the UK, and they all ended up with STDs, and they all ended up leaving. They couldn't handle the levels, because when you go into the high level witchcraft, it's called OTO, sex magic, right? Because that's an aspect. So you got different levels of magic. You got blood magic, you got sex magic, you got talent, all that, and you can mix it all together in one. Now, when you go into sex magic, which is what they were talking about in that song, Justin Timberlake and Ciara had a song talking about love and sexy magic. What they were talking about was sex magic. So what they do is they use sex in order to channel spirits to create talismans or create energy to perform a task. Now, the first level of sex magic is heterosexual, and that involves just normal sex. Then it goes into the menstrual blood, right? Then when you go up the levels, it goes into homosexuality. So lesbianism, anal sex, which anal sex is known as the key of, well, the key of David goes to the next level, which is pederasty, where they start tackling young virgin girls of like 3-year-olds and young boys. That's how the levels go up. And Aleister Crowley was a known pedophile. So it's no mistake that all these top elites, they're all
the same shit.
They're all witches and warlocks, and they deal with the ritual sexual abuse of children, because that's filthy. This is the reality. And they were taught a lot of this stuff through Egypt. And then that's why when you go to Egypt, you will get hieroglyphs showing odious acts. They'll dig up temples, and on the temple walls, everyone's sucking each other off and having sex with animals. You go to India, the same thing. You can go to temples and you'll see people with horse sticks in their mouth and all this kind of stuff. That's because all those uncleanly works were incorporated into the worship of these idols at the higher levels. And that's what these guys want you to be rolling with? Yeah, go on now. And anyone tell you all that? Go on.
So we go Jeremiah 10:2.
Yeah.
That said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed of them.
The Lord never wanted us to be involved with all this sexual depravity. And ultimately that's what happens. Idolatry has a lot of sexual depravity, prostitution and a lack of sexual discipline. The worship of the penis and the worship of the vagina. Right? And that's why popular media now gets you to worship ass and penis. It's all about the biggest dick you can find. Because what do you find in them the worship of the phallus? So they worship the big and dildos and big fat 14-inch dildos and ramming it. That all goes back to idolatry.
Because I was saying, man, that's why in all these different civilizations, where they always got these phallus symbols everywhere and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it continues to today.
Yep.
Esau's still erecting them.
All that big dick energy and all that. That's all witchcraft. What the hell does that matter about anything? And they're promoting all this witchcraft to the people, and the people don't know it. That's what the over-sexualization of the people is. It's channeling them lower energies, man. Porn, all that stuff, man. And then what does porn do? Porn leads you into what? Deeper and deeper levels of sexual depravity. And all that shit you see is ultimately rituals that these people perform. So when they go into these meetings and these rituals, that's what they do. And it's all about humiliation. That's why they made it popular to what? Bust over a woman's face. That's humiliation. You see, the more you understand it, they're promoting hedonistic rites and rituals to the people without them knowing it.
Yeah.
Busting in 80 man busting in a cup and the woman drinking it. Like, what the fuck is going on? Ramming your dick down a woman's throat until she froze up all over you. You know how fucking disgusting that is, bro? That is fucking mad, bro. Vomit blood. Why would you want what? But how has that been made popular? Through the act of pornography, and then the actress, none of them are enjoying that shit. But they'll make it look like they're enjoying it. Yeah. So people think, oh, that's the in thing.
Because they're getting fucked up.
They're getting fucked. They're gonna take drugs to go through that shit.
Getting pissed on and shit.
Which again, drugs is also a part of the rituals.
Yeah, that's true.
To take drugs to go along with all this crap.
Yep.
Drugs and alcohol. That's why when they did the interview with them boys that were getting molested in the White House, what did they say? They would provide us with drugs and alcohol. And that's what this society promotes. Sex, drugs, and alcohol. And all kind of madness that you would never have thought of. And now you're into it. I'm just telling you the truth, man. This society's already turning into Egypt. Bro, some of the things I see people talking about openly now, without shame, it's disgusting, bro. Go on now. Oh, yeah. What?
I'll have a look here.
Yo, finish this and then you still got Leviticus 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Back in Wisdom of Solomon 12, I read from verse 4 again, says, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft.
Right, so the Canaanites were doing the most odious means disgusting. So their rites and rituals were all foul, they were disgusting. Bodily fluid, semen and menstrual blood. You know what I'm saying? And the eye of newt and all kind of madness that man they are now. Homosexuality, pederasty. They were doing all of that. And Esau, yeah, let me find the lost unknown book of, and they start reading it. Ooh. And then they start doing it, man. That's why Esau is the chief witch and warlock in the earth, because he researched everything that these guys are doing, and they're doing it.
Yep. He got all the resources, the money to go out these places and dig up these sites and find this information, find that information. And no, he's just compiling information in that shit.
Sex with dead bodies. That's why they gain access to the morgues. And then what's his name was doing it? Jimmy Savile.
You got the snuff movies as well.
You got the snuff things. Jimmy Savile was caught that he was getting access. They were giving him access to the morgue, and he was going down there and having sex with the dead bodies. Why? Because that's a form of witchcraft, having sex with dead bodies, man.
That's mad crazy, bro. But,
And another guy got caught the other day. So your family ain't safe in these morgues. You think you know your family member just died and they're safe in the morgue. Man are bending them over in the morgue, man. Disgusting. Foul, bro. And you got an out. Oh.
So the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices.
Wicked sacrifice, sacrificing foul animals and sacrificing
Children.
people and children.
Yeah.
And there's a pecking order. Like the most prized thing is that young baby boy. Yeah.
I was saying, man, because the law was pissed off us when we were sacrificing our children to Molech.
To Molech.
Where did we get Molech from?
Yeah.
From the Canaanites, because that's what they were dealing with in the end, man. We didn't get rid of all of them, you know. So
And
we
now-
started dealing with these wicked ass gods and doing sacrifices, you know, doing wicked ass sacrifices, man.
And now they're doing the same thing wholesale, but they're calling it abortion.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that's not medical. The whole idea of the medical industry is a fraud. Yeah, there's nothing medical about abortion because an abortion isn't healing. You understand? The whole term for medical, you look up the definition of the word medical or medicine, it means to heal. When you are killing a life, that is not healing, yeah? I don't know what weird old world that's in. So what are they actually doing? Well, they're doing a sacrifice.
Yep. This is, verse 5 says, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh.
Cannibalism. That's why they got all these programs showing cannibalism. And then they're making it glamorous now. They make a lot of, go on Netflix, there's a lot of programs glamorizing cannibals, glamorizing cannibalism.
The charismatic cannibal.
Because cannibalism has always been a form of witchcraft, where you eat the flesh of your enemies. Ask them mad Haitian, man,
Yeah,
they do it.
They take their power.
Eat their heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kill a man, cut his arm and eat his heart.
You know, eat the heart of a horse and the ox. You get, get the strength of the ox and
Even the
that shit.
albinos, they get hunted down and ate in fucking... Yeah, it's true, bro. In Africa, if you are albino, them man are onto you, fam. You're like a fat booty woman in a club, lad. Man are looking for you, fam. And they're gonna be jumping on you, like they kill you and part you up and sell pieces of you for witchcraft purposes. You don't believe me? Google it.
Rare items in it.
They might have to go and save the albinos, bro. They gotta go like you're saving animals, because man are hunting them, blood, because they want to use them and eat parts of their bodies, man. So cannibalism is also a form of witchcraft, and them elites, they do that. The drinking of the blood, the vampirism.
Yeah, the adrenochrome.
This is reality, man. The spookism, and all that stuff was happening in Egypt and happening in Canaan and happening in these different societies.
In Greece as well, because we was told to abstain from those feasts of blood in Greece.
Yep.
In Rome and that, man, you know. Because Jake was getting into that, man, because that's what they did with their gods too. You know, Zeus and them mans.
And they do all that stuff in Ober and Santa Maria and all that kind of stuff, because that's how witchcraft is, man.
But that's why we usually think it's still not going on today, man. You're out of your mind. You know, it's something that's always been here.
Yeah, and the Kim Kardashian, they got the blood mask thing that she was doing,
yeah.
and that's all just
It's always
making
been
people less. And basically,
Desensitized.
let me say this is what's happening. What they're happening is now they're basically nowadays, some of the stuff they were hiding it before, now they're coming out and basically letting you know. And the reason they're doing that is because you're gonna accept it or not. See, everybody knows this satanic. And you know why they're doing that? So that when you go and you take that trip, yeah, you're agreeing to all this shit. You're agreeing to the pedophilia, you're agreeing to all the fuckery, because you know, and you're accepting it now. Who don't know Beyonce's a demon and Jay-Z worships Satan? If you don't know that in 2022, but you still love him, right? So you've accepted it. You see what I'm saying? That's why they're letting these certain things come out. That's why they let the thing come out about Kanye and the sacrifice, because they want you now to know this is what happens. But where's the outrage? Where's the outrage when man's admitting to you people are getting blood sacrificed? Hey, so now you accept it. It becomes normal now. It's normalized. That's what they call it, the externalization of the hierarchy. You're being initiated into the Luciferian doctrine. And you're accepting it. I don't accept it. Fuck them. If it was in my power, all these men would be in the dirt, man. Today. Bunch of warlocks, and the scripture says suffer not. Yeah, you see, I can't even say that because if I speak, I am in trouble. Go look up what the Bible says about witch and warlocks. You got something there?
Yeah.
If I speak, Marina, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Verse 5 again said, also they were merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feast of blood. With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew.
Right, they got their priests, which are basically experts. You got certain people that are set up as expert, like Aleister Crowley was one of them. Helena Blavatsky, Manly P. Hall. Who else you got? Who's the guy that read Morals and Dogma? Albert Pike, and there's people that are set up as they're experts in the ways of the occult and the ways of witchcraft, man. Shamans and these people, man. And they're all over on TikTok. There's a lot of men on TikTok doing the tarot reading and all that kind of stuff, all that witchcraft.
So with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew and the parents that kill with their own hands souls destitute of help.
Yeah. And when you read the history about that, what they would do is they take they have like when they were doing the Molech thing, they place the child in the fire alive, right? And what they would do is they will boom, boom. They'll play the drums loud so that the parents couldn't hear the crying of the child and feel sorry and try and save it, man. But that still happens to this day, man. Remember, a lot of these people that's committing abortions, both the father and the mother are down with it. It's true. People take their woman to go do that. They go together. It's like, yeah, like, let's do this. Because they don't want no youth, bro.
This is verse 7, that the land which thou esteemest above all other, showing that Israel is a special place for the Most High, right? Might receive a worthy colony of God's children. Nevertheless, even those that thou sparest as men and did send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them little by little. The Lord was plaguing the Canaanites, man. All kinds of different judgments, man. It wasn't until Israel was sent in there to clean man up. For the most part.
You look at America and what's happening in America, and then vocab alone only has a problem with it just makes you feel sick, bro. The depravity and the witchcraft and the demonology that's occurring in America, and we're calling it all out, and the man has a problem with us and said we're the worst. He said we're the worst group in the world. We are, when men are out there eating babies, man. And we're the worst thing going. Fucking in America, how can the Hebrew Israelites be the worst thing in America? Are you for real? Biden's running around there doing the most, taking crack and sniffing. Anyway, if I speak, I'll be in big trouble.
Do you want to carry on?
Yeah, no, that's it on that.
Yeah.
Jump back to Leviticus 18 and 2. To fuck Shaka Amos, man.
So we go Leviticus 18 and 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Now these were two melanated people, two dark-skinned people, black. They were blickety black people. The Lord said, listen, I don't give a fuck about how much melanin they got. I don't care. And that proves to you that having melanin doesn't make you special. Because if having melanin made you special, then the Hamites would be special too. But they're not. They're just fucking people. Man are overdoing this melanin thing, bro. What makes us special is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai chose as a chosen people. Esau's the one that brought in all this colorism shit. When Esau's gone, there ain't even gonna be no fucking lepers around like that. It's just normal to have melanin, man. It actually is a normal thing. Just like having, 5 fingers, on a hand. 2 eyes in your head. Man, don't start praising it. And there's someone out there with 1 eye. Oh, you got 2 eyes, you're special. No, you're not. It's normal. Them Hamites are dark-skinned people. Some of them, man, have got more melanin in this card They're darker than midnight. They're darker than the shadow of shadows, man. That don't make them special. And that don't mean that we're comrades and we need to join hand in hand. The Canaanites and the Egyptians were our enemies, and the Lord told us, whatever them men are doing, don't do it. And it's going to list what they were doing.
Go on. It's Jeremiah 10 verse 16. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name.
We are special because the Most High.
Yep.
Yahweh Hashem Yeshai is our God. He's bestowed special gifts onto us.
And that is the only thing. That's the only reason.
Otherwise, we'd be like these dirty bottom heathens, man.
Yep.
Black nobodies, man. But Esau's got this, like guys like Shaka Amos, they think being black and so-called African is the be-all and end-all, and we were Kangs, you know. The pyramids. Fuck, what are the pyramids doing for you now, man? It's fucking rock, bro. Relax. You don't even know nothing about them pyramids, and you couldn't build one. Just shut the hell up, man. Nigga can't even build a house. You talking about pyramids, man. Fuck out of here, man. Go on now. You hear me, man? Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
In their ordinances. What's an ordinance? The things their judgments, their laws, because they're unrighteous.
Yep.
The Lord gave us laws which are righteous, judgment, not based upon wickedness and emotionality, but on the righteousness of the Most High. Like I was watching it, one thing they were describing a public lynching that happened in Africa somewhere. Some guy stole something. He was a thief. Bro, them man fucking beat man. They fucking burned him. They fucking bashed his head in with a stone. What? How is that righteousness? The guy stole something. That's why we have a law. Like people praise man in Arab land for chopping a man's hand off for stealing. You're not supposed to chop a man's hand off for stealing. That's stupid. Now this guy's dependent. No, you put man to work off what he stole, bro. That's what the law says. Man stole something in the market. Now you're gonna chop his hand off. That's dumb.
It's value for value.
The hell are you doing? What do you do? Steal someone's hand? What are you doing, man? We have a law for a reason. But then man get the lynch mob mentality and start just doing anything they want, man. And then it becomes unrighteous because the punishment is supposed to match the crime. That's why we have laws, statutes, judgments, man. Something that they don't even have in Egypt. No, they don't have the resources. They don't have a record of laws and judgments from Egypt. So I don't know what the fuck Shaka Amos is talking about. They don't exist. The only thing they have is the negative confessions of Ma'at, which that's not a law. That's something, that's a cheat code for the afterlife, that when you went before the idols, you'd recite.
Well, before the rich went before the idols.
Yeah, because only they could afford the damn book. And it doesn't say nothing about these are the laws of Egypt. You wankers, man. Bullshit, man. Go on now.
Hey, because realistically, man, they're there for confessions to get you through, right? Why didn't you just have the law written there in the first place so everyone just knew and didn't do them?
It's
Rather than trying to blag some idols on the way there.
There's no
It's a fucking blackboard.
negative laws of confess. Shut up, man. Ma'at. Fuck Ma'at, man. And you.
My ass.
Yeah, my ass. That's what it is, man. Go on, go on.
Leviticus 18:4, ye shall do my judgment and keep mine ordinance to walk therein. I am Yahweh your power.
Go on, read on.
Ye shall therefore keep my statute and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh.
You have life. Go on, read on.
None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him.
Now, if it's telling you don't do what they're doing in Egypt and Canaan, what were they doing in Egypt and Canaan? Exactly what the law is telling you here not to do. So what were they doing? Family rammings. Yeah? Man from the islands know what I'm talking about. Family rammings, meaning a man boning his daughter, or boning his mother, or boning his sister. Now, did you know that's also a part of witchcraft? I know personally one guy, right? He had 3 daughters. You know who I'm talking about. And he used to turn up. Dude was wicked as hell. He used to turn up and go sleep in it. When it all came out, when he would come home, imagine you, instead of going to sleeping with your woman, he'd go into the girl's room and sleep with his daughters. Now that's a red flag right there. That should have been a red flag right there. But you know, some of these women, they're fucking stupid, man. But anyway, the man's going in, and then he used to take the daughters out late at night, or like come and pick them up at 11 o'clock at night and bring them back all 2 in the morning. That makes sense to you? What are you doing with your daughter, a young girl, all 11 o'clock at night, blood, when they should be in bed getting ready to go? Then it turns out he was popping them. From the oldest to the middle one to the youngest one, he was popping all of them. When he went to the court, because obviously it all came out and he had to go court, you know what he said? He said he was only performing the rites that he read in a book of how to gain power by taking the virginity of your daughters. He was working witchcraft. This is a real true story. That's why you can't trust certain man that's into these things. Because these are the tenets of witchcraft. So you send your daughter or your son around these people, they might take the opportunity.
Take advantage, yeah.
Some of these men are into the odd air, and you can't trust them around with your little children around them, because they might go balls deep trying to get that power. That's just the truth. This is what they were doing in Egypt. Freakyism, incest, all of that. I'm just telling you what it is, man. So you want to go follow that Egyptology, be prepared for that. If that's what you want to be on, hey, do your thing. But just know, judgment is coming for you, because you're filthy. Go on,
None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahweh. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
When you go into the world of what you have now is you have people that get together with the sole purpose of producing children to not only molest themselves, but then to rent them out to other people to molest. Most people don't understand that. So you have a woman and she's into the witchcraft, and you'll have a man, they're into the witchcraft, and they'll come together and produce a child for the sole purpose of having sexual relations with that child. And then they'll start handing the child around to other members of the coven. Now there's a program on Netflix called Who Am I? I think it's called Who Am I? 2 twin brothers. Right? If you search 2 twin brothers, and in that program on Netflix, basically one of the brothers had an accident and he lost all of his memory. Like, so he remembered his brother, oh that's my brother, or that's my mother, but he had no memory of childhood or anything. So basically he got reset. Yeah. Now the other brother didn't have that. His brother had complete memory and everything. And after a while, you know, he started getting new memories, and he's looking through his photo books, and it's like, oh, they look like a happy family, going holiday, blah blah blah. Then he started noticing that the way his brother was acting, like when his mother died, the brother weren't like he was.
He was upset.
The brother weren't upset, and he's noticed. He said, look man, how come you aren't the way I am? And the brother's like, listen, you don't want to know, just forget about it, man. Because the other brother said, look, I'd rather him have the good memories that I've made up for him rather than the reality. And in that program, he basically tells his brother the truth. And you know what the truth was? His mother was sexually abusing them since they were children, and would take them into London for other men to have sex with them. And this was a aristocratic family from out there, because they're a bunch of witches and warlocks, man. This in the program. This is what's happening in the world right now. And all that goes back to the same thing they were doing in Canaan and the same thing they were doing in Egypt, man. Filthiness.
It's just passed down knowledge. You know, that Esau running with. Because he into that.
So no,
That's why he's the worst heathen.
that's you see Jaden Smith, Willow. You see them acting all messed up. You don't know what them people went, what Will and Jada, what they sacrificed them children to, man. They even show you that in Anyway, this is let's keep it going, man. This is the reality of what's going on out there. So there's breeders. They call them breeders. There's women out there that are literally breeders to produce children so they could sexually abuse by their family.
Yeah, them sex rings and shit. You know?
And they're covens. They're witch covens.
Can I just get a quick one before you carry on?
So lucky. You remember when was it David Cameron went to the White House
Yeah.
to visit Obama? And when they asked him about the White House, what did he say? Or what I really remember was the girls' bedroom and how tidy they was. I mean, what the fuck? What? You went to the White House and what? Someone asked you about it, and what you remember is the girls' bedrooms. Yo, my nigga, man, these men are fucking. They're listen. And the White House, you already know what's going on up in there.
Yeah, there's so much scandals, you know, waiting to jump out of them places, man. All these politicians and, you know, all these rulers, these kings and queens and these royal families and whatever. There's tons of scandals there, man. You know, but hey, everybody, you know, all the police forces, the detectives, they're all paid in the books, man. So they get to keep hush.
Some of them are involved in it too.
Them commissioners, that, you know, them masons, they're all in on it. You know, they're told not to go into none of that, and they're told their inferiors, what you want to call them, not to go into that. If you know what's good for you, you know what I'm saying. So they all keeping it all hush hush, man. And there's no proper way to get it out in the open. Now they let some things out now and again.
Yeah, but they don't
to make it look like there's something going on.
Proper mainstream thing. They'll just cover it
Nah,
up.
they'll never show you how deep it goes.
It's disgusting, man.
You know. But I got this from Exodus 22 verse 18. It said, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
That's why.
That's these people meant to be put to death, man. Because hey, it's foul. It's foul what's going on out here, man. And this is why. This is why we got to come out with such a thing. That's why it ain't gonna be going on in our kingdom, man.
Folly, bro.
You know?
That's all it brings is folly and all kind of disgusting behavior, man. That's what witchcraft, the rebellion against the right way. Ain't nothing good that can come from witchcraft and wizardry, man. Go on out.
The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother.
And then if you look at, let's just keep it real. You go on any porn site, what's the main titles that they have on porn sites? It's all about brother, sister, step, this and that, the other. Because again, I told you, like, and by the way, who runs the porn industry? But you know who runs that, right? You know who runs that, right?
Well, let's just say the Germans had a problem with it.
Yeah? The Germans, the porn industry is ran. See, if I speak, I'd be in big trouble. But let's just say that the porn industry is ran out of Hollywood. It's the porn industry is actually a extension of Hollywood.
And that word Hollywood, you know, goes back to that. Was it Hollywood?
Hollywood, and
you know, which is
and like Ron Jeremy, who's a famous porn star. He's one of those.
Yeah.
If I speak, you know, man are gonna get in trouble.
One of the big J's.
So all these big porn production companies that's doing all of this weirdo shit on the and pushing it out there, they're part of a particular group of people, J to the double O.
Like pushing out this content in the
and they're pushing out this witchcraft, but they're meant to be the people of the Lord, right?
Yeah, the righteous,
the lawful people, have sex with sheets and shit. Go on, I'm just telling you like it is, man. Witchcraft, man. That's what they're promoting out here.
Big, and it's a big industry, man.
Leviticus 18:9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
And you know what, man? Sometimes people, because Jake is so, you see the thing with adultery, right? We say this about adultery and all of this loose sexual activity that's happened, right? There's a lot of Jake out there that's sleeping with their sister and they don't know. Let's put that out there, man. It's a sin that they don't know. You know why? Because Jake be out there doing things in the dark.
Much.
You get me?
Too much, man.
You know, Jake be out there doing things in the darkness. You understand what I'm saying? And they be out here dropping seed. And this is what happens when you're in a situation there's no order. See, when you got your wives and everything's in order, there can't be no confusion because everyone is accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
But when men are out here dropping things in the darkness, that's how you might even roll into a woman and you think, oh yeah, you're getting down with her. She's your fucking sister, bro. She don't know that because she don't know who her daddy is, or she might think another nigga's her daddy when it's really your dad that's her dad. I'm just telling you like it is, and that's part of that is because of all this looseness that's going on and lack of order. Yeah? The girl next door is your fucking sister, but you don't know. It's disgusting. But this is what's happening in the society because you got all this folly going on. Yeah? Everyone know, listen, there's enough man that's got brother and sister out there, they don't know. They don't have no idea. You might not even look the same. Sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't.
Yep.
Double gangers you got out there. Going out. Hey, it's true.
Leviticus 18:10, the nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, the nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sisters. She is thy father's near kinswoman.
Right. And then it's funny because didn't Polite get into a bit of bother in regarding one of his stepdaughters? Well, I'm not saying he was guilty because I don't know if he was guilty, but is he not an Egyptologist? So what part of dealing with his woman's daughter is unlawful to him? This is what we get. This is what I'm trying to get to, man. When you believe in certain philosophies, the right and wrong is ultimately going to be based upon that philosophy. So I'm not saying Polite did it.
So what is it?
What I'm trying to say to you is, in Egypt, they ain't have no problem with that. If that's a part of Egyptology, sex, magic, and all that stuff, then what would be the problem?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Now, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, there's a problem there. Because you're not supposed to deal with, if you're dealing with a woman, you're not supposed to deal with her daughter. Which that happens a lot among Jake.
And this is something else you need to consider as well, because he didn't come up under Malachi York.
Oh, yeah. And what was Malachi York doing?
This is what I'm saying. So,
all kind of homosexual acts and witchcraft, man.
The master and the apprentice, bro.
And making excuses for it. He said, "Oh, to prove you're gay, you're not gay. You got to suck his dick or some shit." No, the dude, fucking weirdo, man.
Yeah.
So but he was an Egyptologist.
So you have to take these things into consideration, man. You know, at least we got defined laws and you know what I'm saying, statutes and all that stuff. We got, it's all here written plain. You know, but with them, they don't have nothing so solid a foundation as that, man.
Got no morals.
You know, so you don't know what these guys are prepared to do.
See, and they don't want to get into those debates. They don't want to get into. Listen, let's start dealing about what Egypt was really all about. Homo shit, man. Go on, yo, we don't run that thing around here. Like, listen, the Bible is completely against. I don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear what you got to say about. Oh, it's man. Listen, we don't run that around here. That's one thing that we're definitely not down with, man. The whole LG to the you know what. Because if I speak, I'll get in trouble. We don't run that around here. You can run that in Egypt and Canaan and even down there in Arab land. Go look up the filthy truth. Pakistan, Afghanistan. They have a culture of having sex with young boys.
Yeah, what was that called, man? I forgot.
Yeah, the dancing boys.
Yeah, the dancing boys.
Yeah. And then even it's known, Alistair Crowley said, there's a saying in Arab land that women are for, what was he said? Women are for what? Marriage or sex, but boys are for love. Because they're heavily into the sexual relations with young boys over there in Arab land. I'm not lying, this is the truth, man.
And the Greeks had a similar philosophy.
The Greeks were doing the same thing with pederasty. Ain't it funny? All this heathenistic shit, man. So then when you find out that Africa Bambaataa, who was walking around with all the Masonic symbols, you look at what he was into. He had the kufi hat or whatever the hell it's called, with the crescent and the moon on there and all that. That whole Africa Bambaataa and the Egyptian, they were Egyptologists and Pan-Africanism. Is it a coincidence he was fucking all them little boys? Is it a coincidence that African Bambaataa was doing the Bambaataa with all them little boys, man? No, it's not a coincidence for me, because I understand what Egyptology is all about. And then these dickheads out here want you to follow that shit. Yeah. That's why Bambaataa was getting down and dirty with all them young boys, man. Getting them, sucking them off and doing it. Because he was an Egyptologist, and that's part of Egyptology, man. That's a part of Egyptian culture. It's just the truth. You don't believe me? Go look up, go find all the pictures of Bambaataa, look up all the symbols and everything that he was running with, and see where the root of all that goes back to. It goes back to occultism, Aleister Crowley, all Egyptology, Sumer, all that stuff, and they were doing freakiness, man. And then you're confused. What are you confused about?
All the things we're told not to do.
All the things we're told not to do. That's what them man were under. So you understand now? Do you understand?
But we're the worst though, isn't it? Yeah, we're still the worst though.
Fucking hell, man. That's why you gotta be educated, man. Go on, read on.
Leviticus 18:13. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother.
Auntie. Yep.
She is thy mother's nearest kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife, she is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law, she is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife, it is thy brother's nakedness.
Right, so this is all about, see, this idea of sexual liberation. See, for them, these laws are constraining. Oh, you
can't do this.
You can't do this and you can't do that. That's why Esau, the saint, and they're all witches and warlocks. Go look up the occult connections of Sigmund Freud. They were all fucking occultists. They were all Egyptologists, man. They were demons. That's why, sexual liberation is basically, we could do all this freaky shit. We could do all this freaky shit. And that's what Shaka Amos wants us to get down with. All that. No, fuck you, man. We ain't with that shit, man. It's disgusting, man, and you're gonna be destroyed. Every single one of you just trying to lead our people in the way of Egypt, you're gonna be destroyed, man.
That's right.
Leviticus ass niggas, man.
Leviticus 18.
Menstrual blood drinking ass niggas, man. Go on, man.
Leviticus 18:17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
That's right. But a lot of Jake do that, man. In fact, a lot of Jake get with a woman just to get at the daughter, to get access. That happens a lot. And you know, in this society, it happens even more because you got a lot of single mothers in homes with daughters, man.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
So they're a prey.
Man are all up in the house, the daughter, and they're looking to get at the daughter. That happens so much, it's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable, man. But again, that's why Esau has set up a society with these broken homes, because these broken homes provide the opportunity for these things to happen.
Yeah, because they're actually vulnerable, man. You know, you ain't got a stable house, you're vulnerable. You got a man in the house.
Man wants the younger version. It's just, that's what some niggas is doing out here, man. I'm not lying, this is what's happening, and it's unlawful. It's against the laws of God to behave in such a manner. Go on now, let's get through these laws.
Neither shalt thou take our son's daughter or our daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are near kinswomen. It is wickedness.
It's wickedness, man. Go on, read on.
Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in our life in our lifetime.
Right, when you get two sisters, they're gonna be it's gonna anger the both of them.
Yeah, very
so you're not
much.
supposed to do that now, because it's not that it's unclean. It's that it angers. It's gonna cause a rift between the two sisters, man.
Jealousy.
Go on, read on. Yeah, the jealousy, which that happened between Rebecca and Rachel. That man had a wow. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, not Rebecca. Leah and Rachel. Slack it. Go on, huh?
Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
That means you ain't supposed to have sex with a woman when she's on her period. But that's the in thing now. That's a joke thing now. That's cool. Man are having sex with gal on their reds. Man, when I was watching one thing, the gal was saying, I posted it on my WhatsApp. The gal was saying, oh yeah, the guy had sex with me on her reds, and then I sucked his dick and I had the blood all in my mouth and that. And I'm watching this shit like, blood fire for that, man. Just for saying that, man should go and, you know what, if I say certain things, I'll get into it. Let me say this, because obviously we're under grace, so we're not supposed to go around putting people to death. But in a righteous society, when the judgment of the Lord is there, for saying that in public, you should be hunted down and beaten publicly, 39 lashes minimum, just for uttering that uncleanliness among the congregation, man. Man need to find out who is she and who is she doing that with, and then man need to get the public thing, so that everybody knows we don't operate like that. But in this society, couple comments on the board and it's cool. The man supposed to at a minimum get a beating off the back of that. 39 lashes. But she was proud, just like, yeah, like.
Well, this is what I was like to bring out, man. It's not a shame unto them, and it should be.
What?
To even say such a thing is
Man
is
should have
nasty,
boxed her down immediately, blood. What kind of foulness is this?
man. They're not ashamed to announce these types of things now.
And you know
Esau
whose
given
fault that
license
is? Exactly.
to do
Esau, Edom, man. It's his fault, because he's the ultimate heathen. Don't ever look at Esau like nothing more than what he is. Even though he tried to poke fun of the Africans, oh, look at them.
Yeah,
look at them. No, Esau's the ultimate African. He is the ultimate heathen. He is the heathen of heathen. He fucking buying farts, man. He buying farts. He buying shit in jars. He's a fucking heathen, man. He ain't civilized. He ain't no better than anyone else. He's the worst of the worst, man. He the freakiest. And it's showing itself, man. He got all the tattoos, all the implants, sex changes.
Got two here.
Yeah, go on now.
It's Job 30 verse 1 says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Right? Because they were filthy, man. Esau's a filthy creature, man. Esau is a depraved fucking being.
Esau creates animal dildos. Dildos in the shape of animal penises.
That's me.
You know that? Esau creates dildos in the shape of animal penises. That's all you need to know. This guy's a fucking heathen. And then Vocab, he's getting on our back. Yeah, because he probably got one of them fucking animal dildos in his yard. Fucking freak. Telling you, bro, these people, man, you'd be surprised what these fuckers are doing in their spare time. Jamming themselves through with a giraffe rod. Anyway, man.
They decided to look like a preacher, look like the cat, someone there.
Change
Changes the appearance. And
yeah. There's very man that go to a fucking butt plugs in their assholes, man. So you know, it's fucked up.
Fire for that, man. Fire.
It's from Isaiah chapter 3 verse 8. So for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The shoe of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. Says they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. You know, this proud mentality of openly just announcing wickedness. You know, just shows you the type of world we're living in. Right, and whose influence is in the world, who's really the energy who's being driven by, you know, because them things the brother just mentioned, that's fucked up. The brother mentioned, right? We should be announcing that. Even if it did happen. Right?
Man, I'm getting
that,
bold.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting bold out here, man.
Wickedness is bold. This place is full of it.
Well, as Chris said, they profanely commit, man.
Yeah. But this is because the wicked is in rule.
It is getting worse, man, and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. Man ain't got no check. You know?
There'd be a lot of dead individuals right now.
A lot of these guys now, what they're doing is, see, they used to do the porns where they got like they're dressing up like school children, right? Even though society tells you you're not supposed to be dealing with school children, they got women dressed up as school children, right? Now, a lot of these nigger music videos now, they're dressed up in school uniform, twerking and doing all that shit. The little children, their garments are sexualized. So they're already promoting it in society, man. It's fucking disgusting, man. Yes, but that's Egyptology for you, man.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, go on, let's get through these laws. Yeah, go on.
So we got Wisdom of Solomon, 1 and the from 3. It says, for fraud thoughts separate from Most High and his power, when it is tried, it proves the unwise. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
That's right, man. These men are giving onto these sensualities, man. And they buy into these things, man. And it leads on to death and destruction. They buy into the drugs. Now, another thing that's big, that's getting bigger, is these swingers parties or these orgy clubs. They got them in Atlanta because Atlanta is the freaky zone, but really they exist here in London, and there's videos on YouTube with people my first time in a orgy club and all that kind of stuff. And you got black women, niggas, all going to fucking clubs and they're just having sex in rooms with random people, man. I don't want no listen, why you want a next man with his rod out hard in your vicinity, man? I never understood that shit. And all that running trains on women and that's foul, man. I never thought that way. Why I want a next man?
Man, I don't even like to stand next to a man in the cubicle, blood.
Yeah, like, why you want a next man hard all next to you, bro? Like who? Like, that ain't right, man. There's nothing right about that. How you in a room and there's 5 men in there with you all hard? Like, no, Rasta. Like, no, fire for that, yeah? But, anyway, that's just me. I don't know what's up with... yo, man, I can't... Yeah, man, rod all up in it. That's not comfortable, man. Hey, this is uncomfortable. Like, yo, come on, man. Yo, my nigga, you gotta go home. I'm about to get busy out here. Like, it's not right, man, but... Hey, niggas be in the bathroom stall, him and 2 guys and one woman. Like, what you doing, bro? God damn. Oh, disgusting. Anyway, go on.
Moreover, Leviticus 18 and 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife.
Adultery. In Egypt, they dealt with that adultery. Go on.
To defile thyself with her. And thou shalt not let any of thy city pass through the fire to moor it, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am Yahweh.
See, all that stuff, that sexual liberation, they were doing that in Egypt, man. Yep. Sexual liberation, they weren't keeping the dietary laws. So to suggest that we should be even dealing with Egyptology or Egypt is a violation. Mm-hmm. It's a violation. We are Israelites. We have a heritage. We have the right. Fortunately for us, we have the right way. It's written and recorded, and that's the way we should follow. These niggas want us to follow the way which led to our downfall, because our people going after the ways of Egypt and the ways of Canaan and the ways of these heathens is what's led to our deprivation. They don't have no answers, because following Egypt and the ways of Egypt ain't going to improve our situation. There's no order in that. There's only disorder. You want to be an Egyptologist, what's the point? Just follow the way of America, because America is Egypt all over again. The same depravity. And in fact, Egypt was so depraved that in Rome, because at one point if you go back in history, at one point Rome had certain laws like you weren't allowed to do this and you weren't allowed to do that. We were conservative in many respects, right? And then when you go into the history, the time of Julius Caesar, it just went downhill. No one weren't respecting marriage, all this stuff. When Octavian became Augustus, right? Yeah. When Augustus came in, he was known as what, the savior of the empire, because the empire was going down. And he came in, and you know what he did? He tried to reinstitute the conservative laws of Rome, like, you know, people respecting marriage. Now, what undermined him was his own daughter. His own daughter was a Thotiana out there, and she was known to be out there banging everyone. And even she herself said she would only bang other men when she was pregnant, and she was doing the most. But he was supposed to be instilling these values back into Rome. And it got so bad that he ended up having to not only banish his daughter, but there was one poet that kept writing about it and exposing him, so he had to banish him as well. And it was known that in Rome, when the Romans wanted to do, this is before it went to complete hell, like America's going, when they wanted to do the ultimate freakiness, they would go to Egypt. Because over there in Egypt, they were already freaky. Them Greeks had gone over there to Egypt. Cleopatra, what was Cleopatra known for? She was a fuck, man. She was a freak. She was a real queen, yeah? No, Cleopatra was a thought. She was dealing with everyone because she was an Egyptian. Them Greeks, they adopted the ways of the Egyptians as well, which is the same as the Greeks anyway. They were freaks, man. So the Romans used to travel to Egypt like on sex tourism, just the same way that there was a time when the Americans would travel to different places like Thailand and that to do the freakism that they want to do. But now you ain't got to do that, because all that freakism, you just go Atlanta or go Las Vegas. It's all there anyway. But Egypt was always known as a freak, a place to freak off, man. Sex with animals and whatever the hell you want to do.
Yes. I don't know if we read this earlier, but Jeremiah 10:2.
Yeah, you read it, but let's do it again.
So thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So we was given strict commandment not to follow the ways of the heathen and to do what they do. So to suggest that, oh yeah, we should go follow the Egyptians, these fucking these Canaanites or whatever, man, is totally insane, man, because these are the same reason why we got jacked up by the Most High. You know, why we're in this predicament that we're in today, in slavery, in captivity, because we did what we was not meant to do.
That's right.
We violated the law that was given to us, man. You know, we know that comes with the curses, and that's why we're cursed. We're a cursed people right now, man. You know, struggling. You know.
You close up in a bit. Leviticus 18:22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination.
Right, so homosexuality is off the table, man. That ain't something you're meant to be doing. But in Egypt, that was all right. In all these different countries, it was okay to do.
And now they got all these guys coming out as bi. Joe Biden, not Joe Biden. not Joe Biden, but anyway. No, the other guy, fucking Joe Budden. Joe Budden. This other guy, Gates. I forgot what the fucking that rapper nigga Gates. All these niggas coming out now because they just making it. That's why they make it. That bi thing. Trendy, and it's, you look at women. And, it's just fucking disgusting, man. It's all under the vibration of witchcraft. That's why America is spiritually what? Sodom and Egypt. It's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and you can see that. Freakism. Sexual liberation. And anyone that comes with any kind of discipline, you're the bad guy, you're trying to spoil everybody's fun. And then what's rife? STDs. Just like on Aleister Crowley's crew. STDs are everywhere. Any more scriptures?
Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourself in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled
In all
Wild.
these things, the nations are defiled, because that's what these men were
They're doing.
under.
Yep.
They were doing them things. Like I said, go to India on the temples. There's images on the temples, man, are dealing with animals, man. Down in China, they were fucking geese. Anyway, man. Fuck you, Shaka Amos, man. That's what I got to say. Fuck you and fuck Egyptology, man. That's how it is, man. Talk about miseducation.
For all in this the nation are defiled, which I cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it.
And this is why the Most High always brought judgments to these places, man. Sodom and Gomorrah, Pompeii,
man.
Lord brought judgment against them because they were doing wicked acts, man.
Roasted them dudes, man. Jerked them.
And like we say, the same shit going on today. You don't think the same thing gonna happen?
Terrible judgment, beginning with America, because America's the freakiest place there is, man. Freaky, absolute freak. Look at the colleges. Look at what's happening in these. The college is supposed to be a place, supposedly, where you go to be scholarly and learn. All the man are doing in college is fucking, man. Doing the most. Chlamydia, that's what the man are getting. Education in khaki. That's what them gal are getting in college, man. Getting lined up, spit roasted, man. Drunk off liquor and weed. Ecstasy. What that?
On the land itself vomiteth out the inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statute and my judgment, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourners among you.
So you're not supposed to be tolerant of this behavior. But this society telling us we gotta be tolerant of this behavior. We gotta enable it. We gotta be down with it.
These different ways of living. Fuck all that, man.
And a lot of you jakes, man, you're tolerant, man. I never knew that. Enough of these jakes, man. They love Batty Man. Man are going to the party and their Batty Man cousin is turning up. What the fuck's going on here, blood? What's this fuck is this dude doing here? Man meant to be a real bad boy in the streets, and you got one Batty Man cousin turning up to the barbecue. But you think a Batty Man cousin could turn up to my barbecue, blood? You're cut off from the family, blood. You can't come to the barbecue. How you gonna let a Batty Man turn up to the barbecue, just roll in and man sucking dick, blood? What kind of mad dick? And then turn around and act like. That's why a lot of you Benjaminites, blood, fuck you. You gone, you lost, man. You got your little Batty Man cousin turning up to the barbecue, man. Real talk, I'm being dead serious, man. Real man that's meant to be bad boys. Man turning up, yeah, what you saying, fam? What's going on? Yo, who's that over there? Oh, that's my cousin. Over there in a tank top.
The one with the limp pants.
Yeah, with them tight up jeans, straight up batty boy. And you can see that like, man knows it's wrong, but they still got yeah, man, you know, he's my cousin still. Huh? Yo, man, Jay could change, man. Jay could accepting of all kind of fuckery now.
Hey, but it's that wine, man. It's that philosophy that Esau pushes out there, man.
The gay best friend and all this business going on. Anyway, if I speak.
Hey, but this is why wickedness increase upon the earth, man. When the wicked are in rule, you know, when wickedness is multiplied, when the wickedness in rule is multiplied on the earth, man. Roughly paraphrasing, man.
Yeah, and your man have to be tolerant and get, fuck that, man. Anyway, yeah, one more and then we close up because
that was it.
It's gonna be late.
Yeah, come on. It's Romans chapter 1 verse 24. This is
It's good.
yeah. Let me start with verse 23.
So that's in the New Testament too.
Yeah. Yeah, verse 24. So wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Uncleanliness, yeah. That goes back to odious works.
Yeah. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections.
Yeah, one guy said to me the other day, he tried to justify Batmanism by saying, well, there's animals that... What the fuck is you talking about,
Why would you equate yourself to a beast?
What the fuck are you talking about? Well, there's animals that the fuck. No, first of all, animals in captivity probably. Yeah. The fuck are you on about, blood? What the fuck you telling me about animals for, blood? I'm looking at this guy thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Is that your justification? Oh, there's animals. Yeah, animals that do a lot of the animals that eat shit, you fucking moron. There's dogs that eat shit, man. So what am I meant to do? Like, say, if a guy start eating shit, well, you know,
right,
there's animals that eat shit, you know? You fuck, man. You know, fuck you people, bro. You know, sometimes you want to say that, but you at work and shit, so you got to be, like,
Okay, well.
But really, you want to say, man, fuck you, man. What the fuck is you talking about, man? About you dickhead. About these animals. Fuck. Oh my goodness, bro. There's animals that eat people, bro. What am I meant to do now? Anyway, go on, man. Fuck.
So even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And that's the thing, the Most High set up nature and order. That's what nature is, order.
Fucking lesbians, man.
Right? And the natural order of things is what? And the Most High made man and woman.
In the right way too, not your mother, you know, man and woman in the right, according to the natural order.
You know, you lay down with your woman, you procreate, you give you know, bring forth life, you know, produce progeny.
These fucking dykes, these fucking studs and shit. Man.
Useless, waste of time.
Useless eaters, blood. What's the point of this?
You know, but that's how the Most High created. He created the order for things to work on the earth. When you're going against it, now shit don't work. Things start breaking down.
Bitch fucking tying her breast down. Fuck out of here. What's wrong with this bitch, man? Anyway.
Verse 27, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly.
And it is unseemly, man.
Yeah,
it's fucking seemly, man. It's
man.
wrong. It's a glitch in the matrix, man. It's an error. They want you to, but they want you to see it as normal now. It's not normal.
Well, yeah, they want to push it on the TV all the damn fucking
it's
time.
It's normal because the animals do it. Now, fuck off. It's unseemly, man. It's not right. It's like if you see a man eating a shit sandwich.
Nah, that's what I mean, you know.
Yeah, but now they're having more, like the Bros film. They had that film that just came out, Bros. And the whole film is basically, they've had a lot of gay, but this is one of the first mainstream, they tried to push it. Like two men together. And it's unseemly, bro. Fuck is that all about, man? When girl looks a sweet dog, what happened to you? How are you gonna deal with man, blood? What kind of madness is this?
Definitely better.
when you know what I mean? When a woman them looks sweet, blood. What's wrong with, bro? I'm sorry, blood. What's wrong with these dudes, blood? It's unseemly, bro. Nobody ain't wanna see that.
It's ugly.
You got a son and he bringing a man home and they start kissing in the living room, blood.
It's beef. It's punch up time, bro. Says, likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, shows you it's wrong. That shit's wrong. And that brother said this isn't even in the so-called New Testament, right? Nothing changed, it's the same, right? We know what the law is, right? And receive it in themselves that recompense of their error, wrong, right? Which was me. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in the knowledge, they don't want to adhere to what's written here. They want to act like this has no power over them. Okay, but that's when you get
and a lot of men get into them, like I said, a lot of men get put into them freaky business through, it starts with idolatry. When you'll start going into these wayward philosophies and that, and then you end up doing some madness, man. That's true too. Man's going out, let me try out this yoga, let me try out this, and next thing you know, man, about it, boy. Because you're into the witchcraft, man. You go down the oh, it's just white magic. Next thing you know, you're getting white dick up in your ass, man. Because you've gone down that path, and that's where it led you to.
You want to turn me back now?
Yo, trust me, man. This thing. Anyway, go on, because we're gonna be late.
And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind.
Yep.
To do those things which are not convenient.
Yep.
Because it's only hurtful to yourself and to others, man.
Gonna bring destruction.
Yep. So being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity.
Is that not what the world is filled with? Beginning with America.
Whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. This is without
No, the root of LGBT is being disobedient to your parents.
rebellion.
Because they say, oh no, don't, you know, your parents ain't gonna like it. No, you could come out and challenge it, and
We'll support, you know, we'll support here. You know?
like with Phil Mitchell and that.
Oh yeah, fuck it up. The hardest man on the planet, but you know, we have to bow down to his son.
Bow down and accept that man wanna suck dick, like. How the fuck can you accept that, man?
So, without understanding, right? They don't understand the end of their actions, man. You know, but this is why Sodom and Gomorrah is written.
Example to them that afterward will do ungodly.
But you know, a lot of people just want to believe that's a fairy tale. Right? You're gonna be in the next fairy tale.
You're gonna be part of that cast.
Yeah, that's it. Right?
Yeah.
So without
And rightfully so.
Yep. So without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, impassible, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, because we've gone through it.
Everybody knows what the Bible says.
Right? I know people try to twist it, oh, it don't mean that, whatever. Fuck you, look, man, you don't understand what the fuck you're saying anyway. You're just doing shit out of convenience, right?
Everybody knows. Listen, everybody knows what the Bible says concerning these things.
Yep.
They know.
Yep. It says, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
Have pleasure in them that do them, so they encourage others, man.
Yep.
And that's what this society does.
Yep.
It promotes it, especially to the children. They're promoting it to the children.
That's right. Fucking drag time and all this shit.
Fire for that. Yeah. Is that it on that?
That's that on that, yeah.
Alright, so anyway, look, man, at the end of the day, bun Egyptology, bun Shaka Amos, and anyone promoting that, man. The Lord ain't with Egypt. We're not Egyptians, we're Israelites, and we're going to stick to the law. And guess what? This doctrine, this truth, is going to overcome Egypt and Egyptology and all of that foolishness anyway. All that Egyptology is about to be extinct, and you're losing, and that's why you're hurt and coming out, but you ain't going to do shit, because the Lord is going to make his word manifest in the earth, man. And when America's destroyed, that's going to be the end of Egyptology anyway. Simple.
Yep.
Yeah, Egyptology is going to be gone, man. But it won't even be in the museum. It's just going to be gone. All right?
Forgotten.
So with that, we say, Kal Halal,
Yahweh, Hashem, Hashai,
double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. And honors to you brothers out there teaching, man. Shalom.
Shalom.